Hi everyone, welcome to this World's Hottest Script special class that Jeffrey David Gamble and I are doing today. We're so glad you're here, or if you're hearing the replay, because I know some people couldn't hop on, then we're so glad for you to be able to get this information. So first of all, this is going to be, I think, business changing and life changing. I just love this script, and I love the method that we're teaching to help people to use it and how to use it. So first I would like to introduce us. Jeffrey David Gamble, this is really your script and your method that I have fallen in love with and love teaching this and sharing this with people because it's getting so many darn results. So just a little about Jeff is that he has personally recruited over 500 people frontline, so he really speaks from experience and a great person to pay attention to. You may all want to grab your pen and paper because it's like an avalanche when he speaks. A lot of people... Am I okay? Yeah. A lot of people can't keep up with all the information pouring out of him, so the good thing it's recorded, right? And guess what? We will take questions and answers afterwards. So Jeff has personally recruited over 500 people frontline. That's a lot. And he's built teams to 11,000 people in 7 countries in 3 years in his network with his network marketing business. His teams have produced over 10 million in sales in 3 years. So he's not just a teacher. He is speaking from experience. You can hear that in his voice. And he teaches with a lot of fun and stories and humor, too. My name is Bess McCarty, and I am a coach for network marketers. I was also a full-time network marketer for years, helped me raise my son as a single mom. I didn't do it to the depth that Jeff did, but I definitely made a full-time living with it for years, and I definitely overcame a lot of fears that I had to conquer before I could do my network marketing business. So I understand how to overcome those blocks, whether it's skills or mindset, and that's what I love helping people do. I love communication, and because I was very shy, so I grew to love connecting with people now. Believe it or not, just the opposite. They say what's your greatest weakness can become your greatest strength. So I hope that that's true for me. And I help people to overcome fears and other mindset blocks. As a psychologist, as a body-mind therapist, that I've been doing this with people for 30 years. After my company went out of business, and I went into body-mind therapy. So that is who we are. How this came to be is we met 4 years ago on Eric Worre's GoPro page and stayed in touch. And mostly due to Jeff's efforts, he was so, he connected, he would support, edify, and give really good tips that I just loved. And it was this year in May that we actually talked quite a while on the phone, and I discovered the world's hottest script. I call it the favor script, but I've just nicknamed it for this event. I discovered what he was doing and how he was using it, and it was just like, gosh, that makes so much sense to me. And I've been running the school online for 10 years for network marketers, and I had been studying, keeping up with all of the best teachers in network marketing, and yet this was the best script that I'd ever heard. Because it always gets a yes, it takes away fear, it does not get objections, it bypasses objections and the MLM stigma and the pyramid scheme stuff. It works with all 4 personality types, well, all of them. It works with people who already said no to you. And it does not need a video to work, yay, because a lot of people don't watch them. It is simple, it's easy, it's duplicatable. That means you can get going fast and you can get your new recruit going fast. And when you text it to 10 people and follow up properly, you get an average of 1 to 2 new customers or recruits from using this. So pretty cool, huh? That is why I asked him to share it with my classes, and he generously agreed. And then we realized eventually that we would end up teaching in the school together, which we do now. So we're partners with Jeff's partner, Brandy Pember, and Jeff and I are business partners in the school. teaching network marketers who are lost, who are overwhelmed, who are confused, who need help, who don't get as much help from their upline or fear that they're intruding on people when they try to prospect, who run into blocks, are stuck and don't know why. So I will turn it over to Jeff right now and let him explain more about the script, how we use it, and other questions that you may have. And welcome to all the new people who've been hopping on. We're so glad you're here, and we've got good stuff for you. Over to you, Jeff.
Can you hear me now? Okay, fantastic. What I'm going to do is I've got everybody muted out real quick, and Bess actually asked me to come on, and what we wanted to talk about was specifically a script that got a yes every time. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on me. It sounds like a lot of you already know Bess, maybe from a coaching or maybe from network marketing itself, or, some kind of retreat. I know she's traveled and she's done, lots of different stuff, but I'm actually here in Indianapolis. I was actually born in Pennsylvania, but my parents moved when I was 5, so I basically didn't have a choice. I had to move. I like living indoors and eating, and when you're 5, it's just easier to be with parents, so that's what I did. A lot of times people hear me talk and train on this stuff, and they think I was born with this, or I kind of knew it right away. I'd love to be able to introduce my mom on a call sometime, and she can give you probably a week's worth of stuff I did wrong growing up. But for those of you who don't have that kind of time, I'll just kind of boil it down really quick for you. I was a terrible student in school. I don't know how well you did in school, but I was horrible. One of the reasons is I had a really bad attitude. I had horrible and ridiculously bad people skills. I hated rules and authority, so you can imagine how well that went on growing up. I was super undisciplined, and I was a great starter but a very poor finisher. By the way, I have notes here so that way I can keep on track, because one of the things I also have is ADHD. So I find something and go on a million different directions. So I just got this to kind of keep on track. So I actually saw network marketing when I was 17. I saw it from my girlfriend's parents. And I'm not sure why, but I just understood it. And I really, really liked a couple things. And this was what really caught my eye when I first saw network marketing at 17. The number one is I loved being able to be my own boss. I mean, when they said you could be your own boss and you could do what I want, I mean, think about it. I had an authority problem to begin with. So when they said you could do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, I was like, sign me up. This sounds great. I love the idea that it was unlimited money. I don't know if you grew up in a household where everything was given to you. I had a lot of stuff. I mean, we didn't hurt for anything, but we weren't rich by any means. I had a bike, and when, the tire popped, we could go get it fixed. But I didn't have the best stuff. I didn't grow up in the best, nicest neighborhood. I just grew up in a great neighborhood. So unlimited money, being able to do whatever I wanted to do and have cash, I was like, where was this on career day? I mean, I wanted to punch my guidance counselor in the face when I heard this for the first time at 17. And I was 17, so that was right around the time that, career day was there, and the guidance counselor was trying to tell us about, all these great opportunities, how you could go into debt for 30, 40, 50, 60. If you were super smart, you could go into debt for like $150,000 and become like a doctor, an attorney, or, some other degree that you can hang on the wall and pay off for the next 20 years. They didn't tell you about that part, but I learned it the hard way. I love the idea of residual income. I mean, when they said you could do something once and get paid for it over and over again, I just had this vision of dishes that you'd only have to wash once and they would just show up clean again. I don't know what you did. That sounded better to me than anything. Laundry that would do itself. I was like, yes, that would sound good. Work out once and stay fit for the rest of your life. I mean, that was kind of the image that I heard when they talked about residual income. I was disappointed to find out it was harder work than what they led on to be. Now, even though I read, and I had books, here's where I started out. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a car. I didn't have any contacts. I had no experience in the industry at all. And real quick, I'm just going to turn off something real quick because as people come in and out, there's actually chiming going on, and I'm just going to kill those chimes real quick. They are off. So that way, just a clear call. It's just easier to do. So I had no car, no contacts, no experience. But here's the one thing. I was excited. I was dumb and excited. And they say everything is 80-20. I think I was 80% dumb and 20% excited. And I got to the point where, like, I wanted to break into a zoo and slap the stripes off of a zebra or something. I mean, I was overly excited but ignorant. I was ignorant to how things worked because I didn't have any business skills. And what I learned was right away, and this is the bad part, I'm going to tell on the industry a little bit, and if you've been around this, you probably relate a little bit. I got lied to right away. And, you know, the lies weren't necessarily, they didn't come across as like blatant lies. They were kind of like positive, trying to help out lies. Santa Claus lie, Tooth Fairy lie, that kind of lie, if that makes sense. Because I was a bad student, and I didn't like authority, do you think I listened when I first got into network marketing? The reality is no. I did everything wrong. Everything they said, do not go do this, I went right. That's what I wrote down. I was like, okay, we're going to go try that because that sounds like it doesn't work. And I had to learn everything myself. I had to learn it the hard way. They basically said, don't talk too much, just be excited and just be yourself. And right away, I realized that necessarily was not going to work out because I was not necessarily an excitable person growing up. Like I didn't talk a lot. I was kind of depressed. I didn't have a good vocabulary. I wasn't really, you know, I was outgoing on the inside, but on the outside, I was scared to open my mouth because I had an elementary school teacher mom and an English professor stepmom. And basically every time I opened my mouth, I mean, when you send a Christmas card and you get it back corrected in red pen, I mean, it just does something to you. You know, I had very little self-esteem growing up. And when I did talk, I talked too much, and I talked too much about the wrong things. So for my first 10 years in network marketing, it was very painful, and here's some of the reasons why. I was told basically 5 major lies inside the industry. And I tried everything they told us not to do. I made no money. Guys, I made no money. I actually shared with a friend of mine my first check the other day in network marketing after a year of doing everything wrong, showing up to events, spending a bunch of money. My first check inside of network marketing, this will make some of you happy and other of you will laugh. I made $9.80. That was my first check. $9. I didn't even break $10. Now I had spent way more than what I was getting back, but that's just how it worked. But here's the weird thing. I loved what I was doing. I loved the idea of having a dream, of being able to accomplish something great. I knew I wasn't going to give up. And there's a couple reasons why I didn't want to give up, and you'll probably like these. I was told when I first got into network marketing, the guy said, look to your right, look to your left. He's like, did you realize 1 out of 3 people's ugly? He goes, so if you don't see them, he's like, it's you. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's right. But here's what I realized. There were people actually crossing stage that were uglier than me. And I don't mean like physically ugly. I mean just ugly to the point where their life was a mess. There were people definitely not as intelligent. There were people who were broker than I was, and I had no money. So you can imagine, you know, some of the people that I saw crossing stage, and less fortunate. And what I realized is these people were actually succeeding doing this. And I was like, why is it not working for me? I couldn't figure it out. And the worst thing is some of those people went on to make 6 figures. And I always say that, you know, there's hope for everybody in this industry because there is somebody uglier, broker, and stupider than you are. And I hate to say it like that, but I mean, I'll be real honest. I met some people who aren't that intelligent, who are making 6 figures in this industry and have done nothing else but this industry. Like, if you've accomplished anything else in your lifetime, like had a kid or shown up to work for 10 years or learned how to do anything, you kind of have more experience and are more intelligent than some of the people that I've met who make 6 figures in this industry. But let's talk for a minute about these 5 lies, because this is where hopefully this will make more sense to you than anything, and this will help you out. The first lie that I was told inside the industry, outside of just be yourself, because I was like, that's not going to work for me, because being myself, I didn't have any friends. So if I was going to go out and be myself, that would have drove people away. That wasn't going to work out. So here's the first one, is stick and stay and you'll get your pay. Have you ever heard that? Stick and stay, and if you'll just stay in long enough, it'll work out. And that was a lie. Now, it wasn't meant to be a lie like a lie. What they were saying is they just forgot to use some words. It's not just stick and stay. If you stick and stay and do the consistent, correct work, the correct work, not any work, not the idea of the month club, not the Jeff Gamble way, but the way that makes money, if you stay around, it will work for you. Now, it'll work at a different level depending on the pace that you're using, which leads me to the second lie. The second lie was slow and steady is going to win the race. I don't know if you've heard that as well. I heard that from a bunch of speakers. Slow and steady. If you're just slow and steady, you can make it. And what he's talking about is the story of the rabbit and the hare. The rabbit and the hare. Or the fox and the hare, the turtle and the hare. I was talking about the same thing. The turtle and the hare. So the idea is if the turtle just jogs along, it's going to make it. And the reality is inside a business and inside the world right now, with as fast as things move, if you're on the train tracks, even if you're on the right train tracks, if you're not moving, you're going to get run over. That was a lie. Just slow and steady. Just be consistent. That's what they kept saying. Jeff, you just need to be consistent. Now, I did need to be consistent. I was consistently not doing the right things. That's the only thing I was consistent at. I was consistently not listening. I was consistently getting in trouble. You can talk to my mom about that one. 3. The third one was you only need, have you heard this? You only need 2 people. And this is usually a lie that's told in the very, very beginning when you first hear about your business or opportunity. And by the way, there's a lot of people on here from a lot of different companies, and every company says it a little bit differently. Some companies are binaries. Some companies are matrix. Some companies are unilevels. And if you don't know what I'm saying, that's part of the reason why Bess and I put together this school. There's basically about 5 different comp plans inside of network marketing. And it's good to know about all the different ones, so that way you have the ability to talk to people intelligently about what's going on. But there's basically about 5, and the rest of the comp plans are just hybrids of those 5 plans. There's like unilevel, there's 7 levels. There's 7 levels deep. There's a matrix. There's, the 3x3x3, where you usually have to have 60%, 30%, 15%. It's got to be the right combination across the board of different organizations. The binaries, which is really popular as well. And then there's all the other bonuses and stuff like that in the industry. But have you ever heard you only need 2 people? They'll say you only need 2 people to max out the comp plan. You only need 3 people. 3 good people. I was told when I first got in, we were in a unilevel breakaway, and they said, well, you only need a handful of people. You only need a handful of people. I mean, I remember them specifically saying, they're like, you only need 6 people to hit the top of the comp chart, and you have to know at least 6 people, because if you pass away, you need 6 people to carry you out. I mean, if you're missing one, you can actually fall and roll out, and you don't want that to happen, so you better find 6 people. So I was laughing when he said it, but then I thought about it later, and I'm like, you need more than 6 people. You need 6 of the right people, but how many people is it going to take to find those 6? They don't necessarily tell you that, right? So that was kind of, it was like a white lie, a little lie. Here's the next one. And they always said this in the sale. Now, things that are said in the opportunity meeting are very different than what you actually need to do. I don't know if you figured this out, because in the meeting, they're like, you only need to invest about 2 to 5 hours a week. Only 2 to 5 hours. It only takes 2 to 5 hours to do this business. Never, I think it would be the right way to say this, never have I seen anyone make any decent money. Never. Now, I'm positive there was one guy in the history of network marketing that went out in his first week and by accident recruited 5 people, and those 5 people recruited some people who recruited, and he made it. And what they've done is they've used that story for every company since that basically says, hey, it's possible. I do believe that it's possible somebody has recruited 2 people and it's taken up and worked. I have a very good friend who recruited 1 person, and that person recruited somebody about 3 levels down. He hit one of the stars in the company. Now, he made okay money, but he didn't make near what the person did. He didn't top out the comp chart, but we're told that you can work 2 to 5 hours, that you only have to do, 2 to 5 people, and you're going to make it big, and you're going to be able to make money. And that's what I've done. Is I've interviewed hundreds of people who make 6 figures and hundreds of people who make 7 figures. And what I found is that's not necessarily right. And then this is the last lie that I heard. The products sell themselves. The product's so good, it sells itself. If you just tell people about it, people are just going to show up at your house, knock on your door, and buy it. And I found that not to be true. I don't know about you. If that was true, you could set the product on your porch and people would actually walk up and just hand you money and be like, look, I've looked for this my whole life. I was walking by your house. I was driving by your house. I saw the product. It gave me a phone call. It told me what it did. And I just want to show up and buy it from you. Especially now that we have, these eBays and Craigslist and, Facebook Marketplace, the products do not sell themselves. In most cases, you have to get the information in people's hand, but you have to get it in people's hand the right way. So the main issue in the business is, and here's what I found. Now, I've been to, at this point, over 1,000 trainings. I know I've at least attended 1,000 trainings in 25 years. 1,000 trainings. So I've heard 1,000 different ways to do this. And I'm guessing you have too. I'm guessing that you've heard 1,000 different ways to get to the exact same location, which is success, whatever level you're wanting to get to. And here's what I realized. There's 4 different main personalities. There's 4 different main personalities or dominant personalities. And what I found is people usually teach and train from whatever their dominant personality is. So if you don't have that personality, A, you're not going to connect, and B, what they're doing isn't going to work for you. Why? Because it usually works very well for a dominant personality, but it's not going to work for everybody else's. So here was my issue. This is what I needed. If I look back, here's what I needed to succeed, why I spent so much time screwing around and not making money, is I needed exact instructions. What about you? I needed exact instructions. I also needed the right philosophy when I got it. I heard so many conflicting things. Some people are like, lead with the product. Some people are like, lead with the opportunity. Some people are like, lead with friendship. Some people are like, lead with relationships. Some people are, just be yourself. Other people are, be super excited. Some people are like, tell them what it is. Other people are like, don't tell them what it is. I was like, okay, I'm going crazy here because everybody who comes in is giving me something different. I needed not just the right way to do it, I needed the best way. Not best, B-E-S-S, but that would be good too. I needed the right way, the best, B-E-S-T way. I wanted to stop guessing. I was a person, I wanted to know why, I wanted to know how, I wanted to know when, and I wanted the science behind prospecting, contacting, inviting, presenting, following up, getting people to event, and getting them started. I wanted the science behind it. The science is the right words in the right order. That's what the science is. The science is the right words in the right order. And there are people who get paid 6 figures to just change one word in advertising. Again, I heard that and I was like, I need to find my guidance counselor because I need to kick him in the shin or something. I was like, where was that job? Now, given that I was a horrible English student and, failed freshman English, failed sophomore English, and took English 3 times as a junior just to be able to pass, I think, 2 of those classes with a C and a D, so that way I could get to senior English and barely pass that to graduate. That probably wouldn't, that career wouldn't have helped me. But when I heard this guy makes over 6 figures changing one word, the right words in the right order produce amazing results. And if you have one wrong word, it can change the result you're having. A lot of people don't know that. Now, that's in written form, meaning you're actually sending that out in a Facebook or text message, or it's spoken. But here's the other thing. I needed the art. And I don't know about you, I was missing more of the art of this. There is an art to it. The art is when to do it and evaluating and judging your awareness of who you're talking to and what's going on. And some people are definitely, they have the right words, but they're missing the art. Their timing is off. It doesn't necessarily work right. So that's what I needed. The biggest issue is I found I was running out of time. And I was like, I need to figure this out now because I don't have another 10 years. I don't have another 10 years. I don't want to spend another $5,000 this year in trainings that don't result in making money. Because, this is part of the problem. When you run out the door and you tell everybody that you're in business, what is the objective of a business? A lot of people forget this. The objective of a business is to make money, profit. So when you've been in business for years and you're not making money, people are like, I think you're missing the objective. The objective is to make money. Now, there are other good things that come out of being in business. Like, I was getting the personal development. I loved it. I was finding these relationships with these great people like Bess and, different people that I've met all across the country and across the world. I was getting all these intangible things that money couldn't buy. And I'll be real honest, just for that, it was worth it. It was worth it. But I really wanted to make money because it was a business. So rather than teaching 100 people one-on-one, which is what I started doing, I started running out of time because all these people started asking me, how did you recruit 500 people frontline? Like that seems like an astronomically big number, talking to people one-on-one. And here's the thing, I didn't do it with an email campaign. I didn't do it with a text message campaign necessarily. I didn't do it with a funnel, and I didn't do it with links, and I didn't do it with some special system that was $29.95. I actually talked to people. Now, I know that seems weird today in the world of text message, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, that people, well, what message did you send people? I was like, call me. They're like, okay, what did you send them? I said, then I picked up the phone and I talked to them like a real person in real life, not on video. And they're like, okay, you lost me. I thought this was going to be easy. I was like, it is easy if you use the right words in the right order. So rather than, I started running out of time because I ran out of money because, like, to coach people, it costs a ton of money for those people to get coaching. So I found a solution. I found that Bess actually was running a school online and teaching this generically. And I said, all the people that have called me and asked me over the years, if I would have had somebody like Bess to refer them to, that would have saved me so much time and so much energy and so much effort because I was trying to give people the right answers, but I was also trying to give them quick answers because I didn't have hours and hours and hours to teach this to people. Now, I could say it, but then people had follow-up questions. I could say, I can give you the key to this in 30 seconds. But the problem is you'll use it at the wrong time with the wrong people in the wrong place and be like, well, I didn't get the results you got. I said, well, if you were in my training and you got the philosophy behind it of when and where and how to say it, it would work every time. And people are like, okay, so rather than doing the one-on-one, which would be like, Bess and I both coach, and if you need that specific help, great. But it costs a lot of money because it costs a lot of time. Like my business this year, we increased my traditional business. So I do traditional business. I have a traditional business and I have non-traditional business. We have a massage Reiki holistic practice here in Indianapolis. I have a real estate company. We have a credit repair company. Then outside of all of that, I teach on this school and I coach. And I coach for different things. Sometimes it's advertising and marketing and setting up a business, and sometimes it's personal one-on-one stuff like people are trying to overcome challenges and they're trying to figure it out. Most of the time, it's this stuff that we're talking about, the sales side. So rather than charging $250 an hour per person, I said there has to be a better solution, and Bess and I got to talking, and I started seeing what she was doing, and I said, you know what? We could take all of the amazing content you have and put this into a school. And we can teach the right things to do in the right order and the right timing, and we can put it all together. And I said, but you're going to have to lower the price down so low that it just makes sense for everybody. Where it's a no-brainer. Like if you're frustrated, if you've been in the industry for, and I always ask this to people, and I'm trying to be as nice as possible. I'm like, so how long have you been with your company? Because when I first meet people, I'm like, oh, great, you're in network marketing. I love the industry. How long have you been with your company? They're like, 3 years. I'm like, how many people have you recruited? Usually it's less than 5. And I'm like, that's not even 2 people a year. And they're like, yeah, but I'm this year I'm going to do it. My question is if up until now you've only recruited 5 people, doing what you're currently doing, you're on track to recruit 1 to 2 more people this year. What are you going to do that's so different that's going to produce a result? Because we've already said being in longer, sticking and staying is not going to improve the situation. Because this is just me. I've met people that have been in network marketing for a decade in the same company, and not a bad company, not a company that's been shut down. The FDA's, sent a cease and desist, regulated, where leaders have been prosecuted. Not that kind of company. I'm talking about a great company with great products. They've been in for a decade and haven't sponsored 10 people yet. And I'm like, what are you doing differently that the 11th year this is going to turn out great for you? Because just being in longer, that ain't going to solve it. And I use the word ain't on purpose. I know it isn't. I'm just kidding. Every time I say something like that, I can just hear my stepmom go, are you going to use that English when you're talking to people? And then I get the whole speech on, proper English and how you're supposed to speak. And I'm like, ain't going to fix it. I was horrible as a kid, by the way. So I wanted a no-brainer, something that proved to everybody. So basically, here's just what we've done. We launched this program, this 12 weeks, and there's 10 key sections to it. And what I mean by key sections is we go over the same 10 things. These are the 10 core basic things, quick start basic things, the 10 core quick start basic things with the philosophy behind it, with the 4 personalities in mind, that can take you from not doing necessarily what you need to be doing to doing what you need to be doing, and it works. So let me give you the script for those of you who have pen and paper. Here's the first lesson. The first lesson is if you're not saying the right things to people, you're not going to be able to get in front of them. And you have to understand the philosophy before you get the script. The philosophy I have is, if you look across the board at all network marketing companies, there's a handful of people who have ever made decent money just selling the product. And what I mean by just selling the product inside of network marketing, there's like a 0.0 fraction of people who have made decent money. And my idea of decent money is anything over $10,000 a month. That's decent to me. That's the starter money, $10,000 a month. A fraction of a fraction. So that means 99.9 something made their money by recruiting and building an organization. Now here's the thing. If all you want to do is sell the product, what I'm telling you will also work. It does. It works. For the people who just want to sell the product, what I'm going to teach you works. But if you want to build an organization and get to the point where you have money coming in and you have other people getting in, and here's the number one thing you want to write down. You need to recruit people and build faster than attrition. If you do not build faster than attrition, you can never get to where you want to go in network marketing. And attrition is the rate at which people get out or stop working or both. Because people come in and people get out. That happens in everything, guys. People for some reason think that the leaders somehow have figured out how not to get people out. The reality is that they get more people out. More people quit. More people leave for leaders. The difference is leaders bring them in faster than attrition. You have to beat that number. Now, what is that number? That's something that you need to learn. But here's the philosophy, is we come from an education standpoint. I do not believe you need to hard sell the business. You don't. In fact, people are against it. People think when I give these techniques that it's going to be some, weird psychology, that they just have no way of turning it down, and that's not it at all. The reality is it's almost the opposite, and it's going to sound so stupid when I say it. You're like, I should have thought of this. But here's where I got it from. I got it from real estate, and I was at a seminar, and this guy had spent a bunch of money on advertising over a period of 3 years in real estate, and he's like, this is stupid. I keep spending more money. I'm making more money, but I keep spending more money. So if I want to get to this high level, I'm going to be spending more than what I wanted to make originally, and that just seems foolish to me. I need to do this the right way. I need to do this through networking. I need to do this where I'm not spending all this money on advertising, because if you're always spending money on advertising, watch this. If you're using advertising and funnels and click funnels and drop funnels and drop ship and all these other crazy things, that stuff changes all the time, which means now you have a third job. You have your regular job to pay your bills. You have your business, and now you have a third full-time job just to learn how all the technology works. You don't have that kind of time. He's like, I just wanted to learn something that was organic, that came from the people I knew. Simple. So he had a business card, and he would say this. He would say, Bess, I just got into, now he was a realtor, and he was an investor. He said, Bess, I just started doing something outside of my normal job, and I wanted to let you know what I'm doing, so if you run into the right person, you could refer them to me. By the way, do you have somebody that you refer real estate business to? And she's going to say, well, what do you mean? Well, if somebody's looking to buy, or somebody's looking to sell, or somebody's looking to invest, do you have somebody that you refer business to? She says, I mean, I don't know what her situation is, but if she says no, I say, well, can I be that person? Can I give you my card? My business card, and if you ever have that happen, could you just have them call me? And it didn't hit me right away, guys. I'm not that smart. You know, I wish the lightning bolt struck right there in that meeting, and I got up and said, I figured out network marketing. I'm going to go recruit 500 people and retire. Didn't happen. What ended up happening was a while later I was in a seminar, and they were talking about DVDs and CDs and all this stuff, and they were telling me that you shouldn't say anything, you should walk out the door. And I got to thinking about the whole idea of sending a video to somebody rather than telling them what's going on. And I thought, you know, we're not necessarily looking for people just to buy our product, we're looking for people to join our company. And I was like, if I was a realtor, let's just put it this way, if I was a realtor and Bess said, you know what, I really, really need to list my house, I really need to sell my house. Jeff, you're a real estate agent. Can I talk to you for a minute? What if I said, you know what, I'm new, I really don't know anything. I have this 3-minute video, I have this 5-minute video I need you to watch. And if that video looks good, what I can then do is I can either get you to a meeting or I can get you in touch with somebody who really knows what's going on. But I'll be honest, I don't know nothing. I'm not allowed to know nothing. I'm not supposed to know nothing. I just don't know nothing. Would Bess, as an intelligent person, nicest person I've ever met, would she use me as a realtor even though we're friends? Probably not. I mean, she might because she's so nice. But the average person would be like, absolutely not. Why? Because I don't even sound intelligent enough to know what I'm doing. Why would you want to buy from somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't know anything about it, doesn't have the time? Think about this. I don't even have the time to tell you what it is. So who does that really help? Here's what I realized. In real estate, I realized the business model was to recruit as many people knowing that most people leave, so we don't care what happens to them. We just want the business that they're going to bring us. And what I realized is these big companies have basically done the same thing. What's easy and simple to do is to get you in the business. So what they did is they built something. If you just send this link to enough people, everything will work out. Great. Has it worked out so far? Think about this. If you're in the business and you've been sending links, and you've been trying to get people to watch videos, is it working? Because the true factor of effectiveness is you should have a bunch of people on your team and be making checks. What I realized is people were getting more and more and more frustrated. The other thing is people are getting more and more and more busy. They don't have time. They don't want to sit down. They have no interest in watching your 3 to 6, 8, 15-minute video. They don't have the desire. But watch this. If you want them to watch it, here's how it works. I say, hey, can you do me a favor? I started working on something outside of my normal job, and I want to share it with you. So if, this is key words, so if you run into the right person, you can refer them to me. Here's what I found. If I can't, this is a rule. This is like an absolute rule of mine. If I can't show you everything, I show you nothing. Think about that. If I can't share with you everything, meaning if you don't have 10 minutes to hear me out on everything I do, I'm showing you nothing. That's what a professional would do. And my philosophy is if you're not intelligent enough to tell people what you're doing, they will never join you. Now, I don't mean like give a 2-hour speech in front of a room of executives. I mean, I pick up the phone and I call Bess and I tell her about the 5 important things in the business. Now, every single company has this. Every single company has a little bit of information on the company, maybe 3 things. Why it started, when it started, where it started, and who started it. Just a few things. It started in 1959. The guy who started it, this is what happened to him, and he said, wow, that would be a great thing to do. So they got it up and rolling. It exists in this state or this country, and it's been around this long. And here's, maybe a 5th thing, half a dozen points is good, and it's doing $500 million, $5 million, $15, whatever, it might have been brand new. Half a dozen things. Then we move on to the second thing you need to talk about, which is the need in the marketplace. Is there a need for your product in the marketplace? Now, here's what I learned. There's a need in the marketplace for training. Here's why. There's 100 million people who join network marketing, and 70% of them never get trained. And I'm going to say something awful, but out of the 33 million people that do get trained, 70% of them get trained wrong. Because if they got trained right, we'd have more results. We'd have more millionaires. We'd have more 6-figure earners. We'd have more people walking across the stage in every company. And the reality, it's not happening. So what I realized is it's due to the fact that 70% of people aren't getting any training, and 70% of the people who are getting trained wrong. And if you think that's false, look at the score of the Dallas Cowboys today. I had to throw that out there because I have a friend who's a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, and the Colts completely destroyed you. So I just wanted to make a point. Some people get trained differently, right? The Colts obviously had good training, and the Cowboys not so much today. And I'm not a huge football fan either way, but I had to throw that out there because my friend always throws it in my face. So the third thing is your product or service. You need to go over it and explain what it is, what it does, how much it costs. Great time to say, hey, I started taking it a month ago, and now, and be honest. Be honest. You don't have to. People inflate stuff so much. It's better to be normal. Hey, I lost 10 pounds. It was awesome. 30 days. But when you say, I lost 10 pounds and my teeth grew back and my hair grew longer and my dog barks louder and my cat is able to walk on the ceiling and my taxes went down and my heat in my house is now more humid and, just on and on. People have just some stuff. My mortgage interest went down and my taxes changed on my, it's too much. Especially when you're taking vitamins, right? But you've heard those people that go overboard. I'm like, that's too much. Just a couple things. It's good. Then you need to talk about the compensation. You're like, I don't. Here's the number one problem people think of. Well, I haven't even made any money. Do you know real estate agents talk real estate commissions and they've never made any money yet? That's how you start making money, is you're knowledgeable about how to make money. Because here's what I found. Typically, you're not even going to make $1 unless you know how it works. Why? Because who would join you if you don't know how it works? Here's the simple part. Usually, you can buy retail, and there's a retail. Usually, there's some kind of preferred program for customers. Not always, but usually there's a preferred program. If I get in, or if I sign up, or if I order monthly, there's usually a special customer deal, and then there's 2 kinds of reps, usually. Not always, but usually. So this is 4 different ways to participate. Number 1, retail. Number 2, some kind of bonus customer program. And there's 2 kinds of reps. A lot of people don't know this. I'm just sharing it with you because we have a minute together. The first kind of rep is not getting in to make money. For those of you who don't know, the people who sign up in the business, these are the reps that sign up in the business. 1/3 of the reps, 1/3 of the 100 million people that get in, 1/3 of them do not get in to make money. They get in to get a discount on the product. Raise your hand if you did that. I'm raising both hands because I've done that before. I got in for a discount on the product. That's it. I was like, so at retail I get this. At wholesale it's a little bit less. I'm like, if I buy 3 times, if I plan on buying this product 3 times, three months in a row, I get a better deal here. I like to save money. Don't you like to save money? I was like, let's save money. That makes sense. Let's do it. That's the #1 reason why people join network marketing. So if you're not talking about that when you're talking to people, you're missing 1/3 of the people that sign up in the first place. Now, what you don't know is that's a personality trait. That's a dominant personality trait of the S and the C-type personality. They're looking for a good deal and good quality. That's why that works. See how it's tied together? Here's the second thing, and we're probably going on a little too long, but give me this last minute and I'll finish up. The second reason why people get in the business is as a backup plan. They're not planning on building. They just want the discount, and they might do something eventually. And then the last type of person, so out of the 4, the last type of person is a person who wants to get in and make money, and they're clueless usually, and they're like, I've never been in business for myself. I don't know this. I don't understand the science or the art of this. Somebody please help me. 4 different kinds of ways to make money. Did I say anything about upline or downline? No. Did I say anything about PV or BV or GV or TPV or RTV, RPV, GSP, NCC, all these acronyms? I mean, there's like 5 million acronyms. Do you think the average person cares? They don't even care. Guys, there's 4 ways. If you want more information on buying and making money, how it works, great. Let's sit down and talk sometime. I'll get you in front of somebody. In fact, we have a video. So the last thing is the timing and the team and the talent. The timing, the team, and the talent. The whole reason I showed this to you or told you about it is so you can refer me. I just go right back to what I said at the beginning. Thank you so much for learning about what I do and how we do it. So if you ever run into the right person, what happens if somebody stops you halfway through and is like, I never would do these. I know. I'm not looking for you. I said, I just wanted to share it with you because you might know somebody else in direct sales that you can refer me to. Oh, okay. That's as weird of an objection as I get sometimes. They're like, I'd never do this. I was like, I know. I said, but you might run into somebody who does these things, right? Oh, yeah. I said, well, I'm just looking for the referral if they ever say, hey, have you ever heard of, what's out there? I said, that's who I want to talk to is the people who are in other things. Oh, okay, I can do that for you. Cool. So this is our team. This is the timing of the company is awesome. We've been around. We've established. We just got started, whatever the case is. Here's the last question. Now that you know what we do, based on talking to them, you're going to get feedback, which you don't get in a video because you don't know what they like, dislike, and then you're like, what did you like best about my video? Well, I didn't even watch it, so I like nothing about it. I mean, that's the reality of most people. But when I talk to people, I said, well, now that you kind of know what I do, I'll get feedback. People are like, oh, that's a really interesting product. I might want to try it. Or how does that work? How much does it cost? Those are all questions that need answered. I said, well, now that you know a little bit about it, it sounds like you have some interest, but I don't want to be that person, trying to sell you. So do you want more information on this, or would you help me out and just refer me? Or both? 2 options. Do you want more info, or are you going to refer me? People are like, I'm just going to refer you. Great. Here's my card. If you ever run into somebody, here's exactly who I'm looking for. Great. Now you know what I do. Now if you run into somebody who needs our product, you can refer them. Now that you know how the money works, basically, you can refer them. But if they have any questions, I said, we have this cool video. Now watch this. Now they're going to look at the video. Not because you asked them to, but because they have a question. If they have a question, it's like 25 times greater that they will actually look at. The odds are like 100 times greater than look at. They have a question. Not you trying to sell them on it. They want to know how it works. They want to know about the ingredient. They want to know about the product. I'm not an ingredient person. I'm like, I can send you the website. See, I know what I do. I know how basically it works. I'm not the scientist. I don't work for the FDA. I don't work for the CIA or the FBI or any of those initials. I'll get you the video. And I really want to introduce you to this friend of mine that I work with. I wanted to introduce you to him anyway, but I wanted you to at least know what we do, so when he's talking about all the great stuff that's happening, it doesn't sound totally weird to you. Cool? Oh, yeah, cool. I said, well, you know, do you want to look at the video first before you talk to him, or just want to talk to him? Because he might know the answer to that. Just see how normal it sounds. It doesn't sound made up and fake. You know, we used to get told, well, what you need to do is you need to build up and not that you don't need to edify, but it doesn't need to be weird. You know, they wanted us to edify people like, this person walks on water, this person glows in the dark, this person's only available between the hours of this and this. They're a vampire. They sleep in a cage. I mean, it was just like way too much. I was like, oh, this friend of mine, very successful friend of mine, I wanted to introduce you to him anyway. But what would you rather do? You want to look at the video, or, you know, we can get on a call? Doesn't that sound normal? See, when you make it abnormal, when it sounds weird, people's anxiety goes up and their BS level goes up, and they're like, yeah, this is crap. I'm not interested. So with all that, this is, guys, what I just gave you was like out of 100 things that we may teach inside of the school, I just gave you one. Now, does it mean that you need 1,000,000 things to learn to succeed? No, you just need a handful of them, just a half a dozen of these. You'll go from not doing stuff to be able to do stuff. But at this time, I've talked too long. I hope that helped out. And I'm going to turn this back over to Bess. And she can give you the exact details if this is something you need, something you want to do. But also, we've got a couple people on here who are using this stuff who have succeeded, and Bess can bring them on. So, Bess, I'm going to open up, and if you just tell me who to unmute and how that works, that would help me out greatly. Can you hear me?
Thank you, Jim. Dynamite. Okay, I'm going to speak just for a few minutes, and then we'll bring on a couple of people who've had results, who've used this stuff and had results with it, and then I'll let you know who to unmute here. So I want to also welcome Michael Murphy and Monica and Adrian, who have popped on. And thank you for explaining so much the need that's out there. I think that your voice spoke for a lot of network, 95% of network marketers out there who run into the frustrations and why they do, but there is a solution from people that have gone before, like you and me, and have shortcut the journey, the learning curve for other people. So thank you. We do want the best. I am committed to bringing the best to my students and clients, and I need to find the best, most direct methods to teach them. That's why I am working together with Jeff. I want to shortcut your learning, your journey, your learning curve, because y'all don't have time to mess around. You got families who are relying on you to take care of them. And you have other demands on your time, sometimes, children, or sometimes aging parents, or your own retirement to prepare for, or loans to pay off. Now, you have time to mess around. So that's why we want to give you the best. I think that the favor script is the best script that I've ever heard. It's my favorite. I call it the, can I ask you a favor? I call it the favor script, and it happens to be my favorite. And by the way, what you do, I'll say it again for everybody. And this is written down, so don't worry. You can easily get this. But it is, hey, can I ask you a favor? I want to let you know what I do in case you run across the right person. You can refer them to me. Is this a good time? Hey, can I ask you a favor? I want to let you know what I do, so in case you run across the right person, you can refer them to me. Is this a good time? Now, you text this to 10 people that you know, and that's important, apart. 10 friends or family, or Facebook message, 10 people. Most of them respond back, and when they do, you do the 10-minute presentation. Now, on the average, you get 1 or 2 new customers and distributors for every 10 that you text, and you follow up properly like we show you how to. So isn't that a good ratio? And don't you think that's like easy enough for your new recruit to do? In fact, you can come up with your 10-minute presentation from your company's website, make sure it's all company compliant and all that stuff, and then you can give that to your new recruits. You can give that to your team to use. It's like, what could be better and simpler? And it works. The favor script works because it gets permission. You're not spamming anybody, and because it's indirect, it's not about them. They don't have to fend you off and defend you and say, oh, but I'm not, I don't want this stuff. So and also they're curious about what you're doing now, because you're saying, hey, want to let you know what I'm doing outside of work, or what I'm currently doing, something new, want to let you know about. So they're curious, and they care, and they want to help you if they are a friend, if they truly are a friend. And you can even use it with people that already said no to you, because what you do is you preface it by saying, I already know this is not for you, but could you listen, could I share with you more about what I do? In case you run across the right person, you could refer them to me. You see, so it works with even people who've already said no. And I love that it doesn't need a video, because for many years I've been teaching in my school that you don't talk, you let the tools do the talking. But then I found out that research shows that 70% of people do not watch the darn video that you send them to. And then they feel bad because they forgot it or got busy or whatever. And then when you try to follow up with them, they avoid your calls, because they feel bad or guilty about not watching it so far, or they're all videoed out and all that. So I was teaching, let the tools do the talking as the first exposure. You do not talk unless you're telling your story, unless you're standing in front of a room presenting. I had to change that. I think this is much more up to date. I think that sending them to a video, following up with them is much too slow. Whereas this, you text it, they might respond back in a few minutes. They say, yeah, it's a good time. I got 10 minutes for you. And they hear what you're doing. And then now that you know what I do, are you likely to give me a referral, or are you interested yourself? And if you're interested yourself, are you interested in products or the business, or both? And then you know how to follow up from there, hopefully with a three-way call where that person will then close. So that is our process that we teach. I think this is even better than other scripts that I've heard that say, who do you know? That is an indirect way too, but it's still more pressure to the person. Who do you know? I know you know somebody, you tell me who it is. That's still pressure on the person. So rather than say, who do you know that I should be talking to? It's more like, hey, can I let you know what I do in case you run across the right person? It's a lot less pressure. And it always gets the yes, because, later, or maybe, I don't know when, but yeah, I'll hear what you have to say. Now, don't worry, all this stuff is written down. Yeah, we have written a book called Always Get a Yes. Actually, I wrote that, but I put Jeff's method in the front of it because it works with all four personalities, whereas my method, a slower method, is for relationship-type people. So I put this in the front. It's on pages 5 to 12 of the book, Always Get a Yes. This book is only $17. It's an ebook, and it comes with a bunch of bonuses and everything. But if y'all don't have the script, you can go to that Facebook event, World's Hottest Script, and there for free, you can get a copy of this script. There's a link there at that Facebook event, World's Hottest Script. So you go there, there's a link, you can get the script for free. If you want a little more about it, we wrote 7 pages about it in that book, about how to write that 2-minute presentation with those 5 components, with those bullet points that Jeff just mentioned. And there's more stuff around it. There's variations of the text and how to follow up properly, and 3-way calls and all that good stuff on pages 5 to 7 of the Always Get a Yes book. Now, if you want the book, that is also in the link. That link is also on that Facebook event, but I'll tell you what the link is now, so you can go right to the book if you want it. That is MLMMillionaireclub.com/yes. MLMMillionaireclub.com/yes. I also put that link in the chat box for those who can see that. Now, if you want to get the class that Jeff was talking about, where this is just a sample. You can consider tonight or this afternoon a sample of the beautiful class that we teach on Sunday nights. I was charging $400 a month for the school. And we are now charging, guess what, how much for the school? $25 a month, because we really want to make it affordable to everyone. Guess what else? The membership in the school for that, we teach a class on Sunday nights called Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers. And guess what? The book is included in the class. So book 17, the class is $25 a month. If you're thinking of the class, don't get the book, because you get it for free in the class. That's every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We go 20 minutes. It is packed full of information as fast as you can write or your ears can listen. But for people that can't make it at that time, and many people can't, we have a lot of people listen to the replay because they're in different parts of the world, or they work at that time, or the kids, or something like that, or they need to go to bed early. So it is recorded. The replay is sent out the next day. It's fun. We laugh. We learn. It's always a lot of fun that we have. But you do get the foundation in that class of the 10 core commitments that have proven for decades to be the foundation for network marketers, and the best way I know, consolidated, simple way to then train your team. So we do have. I'll just say before we bring on our guests who have had some experience with these methods, I would just like to say, are you happy with your business, with how it's going? If not, do you have a plan? Because we have a plan. And it's the best that I know. That's why I'm teaching it. It's called the Quick Start Basics class, part of our school, the $25 a month thing. And if you want to get that, I should tell you the link, right? That is at MLMMillionaireClub.com/basics. MLMMillionaireClub.com/basics. I put that in the chat here. I'll put it, it is also in that Facebook event, the World's Hottest Script. That link is in there too. So when you go to that Facebook event, World's Hottest Script, even though it's past, I think you can still bring it up. You will see the free script link, you will see the book link, and you will see the class link. If you get in the class, don't worry about the other stuff because that all is free in the class. We have several stories to share with you. In a minute, I'm going to bring on a few of the people. I'm just going to speak 1 minute each. They promised to keep it real short for you. The first story I want to tell myself, because this lady is driving right now and she can't be here, but her name is Tammy White, and she just told us that last month, by using our methods, she's a newer member in the class. I think just a month or two she's been in, and she said last month, because of what you guys teach and the confidence that you had in me, I jumped 2 ranks, and I quadrupled my sales, and I got a new car bonus. And she said, I can't believe I've done this, because in that month, last month, November, she lost a family member, and she had a major health problem herself. But she says, the sort of therapy, I poured myself into my business. And with you guys, I can't even believe I did this. And Jeff and I said, don't stop there. What's your goal for next month? Keep going, keep going. And we've had repeatedly stories of people who jump ranks. Right now, I would like to bring on, just for a minute each, our students have come on today to be able to speak with you. Hey, could we start with Monica? And Jeff, you'll see that Monica's the second last person on the video, so we'd like to unmute you, Monica, and hear how has it been for you using the favor script and the other methods that you've been learning? So Jeff is working on unmute. There you go.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So it's probably been about a year, almost a year since I first met Bess, and being able to hear about the always get a yes in the favor script. So my upline mentor hooked us up with a free webinar with our team, and that's how I learned about Bess and the always get a yes method. And then I kind of hit a slump for a couple of months, and then got back in touch with Bess and learned about the favor script with Jeff, and got my my little coaching session with Bess, and really got into deep searching about what I need to do for my business. Started doing the favor script with friends on Facebook, in person with people, and then I really just started listening to what I was hearing from the lunchtime shows and decided to get into the Core Essentials class. And within a month of renewing my dedication to the business and actually jumping into all the core basics, I was able to jump a rank and then also meet my next pay gate, which was really great for me because I had been in the business for about a year and a half at that point, and I had done nothing. But I didn't have the training. So now I make it a point that if I'm not on these calls every Sunday night, Wednesday night, I'm watching the replays, and then I'm also watching the replays of the lunchtime shows. So every piece of information I get is absolutely crucial to my business.
Thank you, Monica. That was awesome. Thanks for making time to come on and do this, and you waited till it was time. And before we bring on our next person, I just want to say real quick that whoever joins the Quick Start Basics today can get on our call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are covering the second of the 10 core basics. And you also get a special bonus for December. If you join now, you will be in time to get the next 2 Wednesday nights free of Leadership University. This is normally $97 a month, and you will be able to join us as our guest the next 2 Wednesdays. What we are covering, I'll hold up the book here, is the John Maxwell's book, Everyone Communicates, You Connect. John Maxwell's called the #1 leadership expert in the world. And he just spoke on Eric Worre's stage at GoPro Recruiting Mastery. Why do you want to learn leadership? Because Eric Worre says we do 3 things in network marketing. We sell product or service, then we train other people to do that, and then we become leaders. Now, becoming a leader, that's where the real residual income is, and that's where the real money is. Because you want to build a team who's going to stay and who's going to follow you, and it's important to know how to lead. That's why, and Jeff happens to be a certified John Maxwell trainer, speaker, and coach. So that is why we can bring you these Wednesday night classes. And it'll be ongoing, but December will be a gift to you guys if you hop in now to the Quick Start Basics class. So it is, I just love that class. And what I'm learning, being a better person, everything, let alone a better leader, teacher, and network marketer. That's what you'll get. So again, if you want to jump into these goodies, the way that you can join the class is MLMMillionaireClub.com/basics. MLMMillionaireClub.com/basics. And now you again can find that link at the Facebook event, World's Hottest Script, and also in the comments here I put it. And now I would like to bring on Adrian, who's also in the class. So, Jeff, I'll let you mute us and all that stuff. Adrian Congleton. We're working on it. Thank you, Monica Mark, for being on. Thank you, Adrian Congleton, for making time to come on, too. So Adrian is the 3rd one on the bottom, so we need to unmute her.
Oh, hi. I'm going to put my timer on so that I don't go over. I just want to share that since I've been a member of the club, my pet fish, they swim faster around the tank. I just wanted to say that. But anyway, my issue with the network marketing has been chasing shiny objects, being all over the place. So, Warren Buffett, he said, hang out with people that are better than you, right? So I said, okay. So I'm hanging out in this club, and then I'm starting to realize all of the great information and mentoring that I'm getting from Bess and Jeff, okay? And Bess is, doing the Facebook Lives and just stepping out there, building her company, growing it. And then Jeff is an expert in leadership as well as network marketing skills. So I said, wow, I need to hang out in this club. So one of the benefits that I got is that I'm scripting what I say to people, and it really does work. It disarms people. They have no reason to be resistant. I'm just asking you in case you know anybody. See, my time is up already. So, I would just say to anybody that's on the fence, you have such a gift of content, information, coaching, and mentoring with these 2 people that are really good at what they're doing, and you have a chance to learn nearly every day of the right way to do it. And I thank both of you guys.
Thank you so much, Adrian. You've been a star student and get results, and you've been just awesome. She's very, very regular too. So she's watch her smoke. Follow these guys on Facebook because they're going to be real fun to watch what's going to happen with them. Thanks, Adrian. Right now, I'm looking to see if Becky's still on. Usually she's at area code 403, and I thought I heard her before, but Jeff, could you unmute all the lines just a minute to see if Becky's still on? Becky Gustafson from Alberta, Canada. If not, I can tell Becky's story. But
I'm on.
Oh, yay. Okay. Becky Gustafson from Alberta, Canada. What would you like to share with us?
Hi. I'm from Alberta, Canada. I'm 84 years old, and I've been in network marketing about 20 years, ever since I retired from nursing. I had customers, I have customers, but I was scared to recruit distributors because I wondered if I could be a really good leader and really help them or not, because I just felt that I wasn't a leader. And Bess and Jeff, they made it simple for me and showed us just what to do. So a week ago, I recruited my first distributor since joining the class. And Bess and Jeff are both excellent teachers and just super people and lots of fun. And I'm really glad that I've taken their classes. It's been so worthwhile for me, just for my personal growth. If I don't sell a thing.
Thank you so much, Becky. You are an inspiration to me and to other senior citizens, I think. You've been incredible. You've been the first person in the classes, the first person to bring people, the first person to share so much. Becky actually bought John Maxwell's leadership book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and gave that to 11 of her family members for Christmas gifts. That's how progressive she is. That's how far-sighted and how much she believes in this. And thank you so much. You are an awesome connector, and I see big things ahead for you as well in your business. And we'll be right beside you, walking beside you, and helping. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
So on the Sunday night classes, what we have is 90 minutes of really power-packed content and information. Everybody here would agree with that. And then we turn off the recording then, and we open it up for questions and answers, and that's where people can get coached right then on whatever they've run into in their business, but also share their insights and tips with us as well. So it's a place to share, a place to learn, a place to get coached for $25 a month. And with that comes you always get a yes book and membership in the MLM Millionaire Club website, which has a whole year of curriculum in it and tons of more videos, audios, and everything than you could digest. So it's maybe the best known secret deal in network marketing, and it really works, and it's the best I've ever seen, and all that. So I have only pride in this, and gratitude to Jeff for being able to work together. If you want to get that class again, that is at the MLMMillionaireClub.com/basics. And if you join now, you could join us tonight in our class. You could hop in and join that really hot class. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, recorded if you can't make it. MLMMillionaireClub.com/basics.
Beth, since we also have a list of anybody who's called in, we could also text that out if that's cool with everybody. I guess if you don't want the text, erase it. But we can send that out as a text message. That way you have the direct link if that's easiest.
Yes, I'll text everybody, and please let me know if you want to. I'll text you. Let me know if you don't want to be receiving that. Sherry has bought the book already. I think she just went on and bought the book. That's fun. Okay, yes, and she put the link for the book on here as well. Thank you, Sherry. Any other comments, questions? Should we open it up for questions? Who has a question? Comment? Y'all have stuck on here. Thank you for sticking on. Long time.
Okay.
I just wanted to finish up and say thank you to everybody for staying on so long. If you do have any other questions, feel free to contact us directly. Sometimes I know people don't want to speak up, necessarily on a call this big and ask any type of personal question or anything they're going through. So you can always instant message us. But I'm going to unmute the lines one last time. Guys, if you have anything else, did you hear something different? We'd love to know, compared to other trainings, compared to other things that you heard in the industry, how does this compare? Do you like what you hear? Is it interesting? Is it, hey, it's very different? I heard that from somebody. They're like, this is really different than what's taught out there. But here's why I like it is because it's effective. This is just a handful of the people who have been successful, and I just wanted to say, thank you to Adrian and Bess and Lisa and Monica and some of the people who have, and Tammy, who have been through our classes, and it's working for them. So I'll unmute the line again if you want to, say what you liked best about the training, and if you absolutely positively hated us, instant message and let us know, so that way we'll take that under consideration.
Well, I just wanted to say right quick that the combination of the network marketing training and the leadership, the daily leadership, that combination is just a perfect match. And that's what I really appreciate about it, because the leadership training is so broad that you have to have repetition to seep into your subconscious by listening to it pretty much regularly. I think this is a great combination that you guys have, and it's only going to get better. So thank you both.
Thank you, Adrian. And thanks to Jeff. It was his brainstorm, his knowledge. It's like, okay, this is what we need to bring to people. It's like, man, I've been teaching in my school for 10 years, but he definitely upgraded at many levels. So, and Adrian was in both. So, yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Adrian, for saying that. So glad you're along board.
Awesome, guys. With that, we don't want to take up any more time. We appreciate everybody for being on. If you have anything, again, instant message us. I'm getting a couple instant messages. Junior said that he wants the info. So, Bess, if you can send him out for the class and the book, and then, figure out whichever he would like to do. I just appreciate everybody for staying around so long and apologize for going over. But it seemed like it was helpful and useful to everybody. So, everybody have a great day. Appreciate everybody. I'm going to go ahead and turn the recording off at this time.